everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the common question of whether you should go for an electric toothbrush or a manual one, especially when you have braces. Choosing the right toothbrush might be simple, but once we have the braces, it can be a little bit complicated because of the brackets and the wires, which create some extra spaces for the food and the plaques to hide. And this is when getting the right clean is super important. In this video, we're gonna break down the pros and cons of both options and which is more efficient in cleaning. And also, let's figure out which one is the best for your situation and for your budget. So let's dive in. So let's start first with the pros of the manual toothbrush. Number one is they are affordable and accessible. So the manual toothbrush, we all know we can see them anywhere or everywhere, especially in the supermarkets, pharmacies, or even in your dentist office. And the prices are so low that it can be compared to even a cup of coffee. The third one is the variety of the bristle types. So in the supermarkets, I've noticed that there are three types, and that is the hard, the medium, and the soft. So it is recommended that you use the soft one because it avoids the damage into the enamel and it is gentle into your gums. Fourth one is it's compact and travel friendly. So with manual toothbrush, you don't have to worry about charging it because it doesn't have any batteries and it's perfect for just tossing it into your bag when you go to school or at work. Also, this makes it more convenient when you travel to places where there is limited power and if you wanted to travel light. So, given all those pros, then we'll figure out what are the cons of having manual toothbrush. So, the number one con is it is technique dependent. If your brushing technique isn't good, then you can leave behind any plaques, especially around the brackets and the gum line. Also, for those who do not know, you need to brush at a 45-degree angle. So this allows the brush to reach the sides of the brackets above and below and to make sure that there are no food or plaques stuck. A lot of people brush in a straight scrubbing motion. So I have an example of a manual toothbrush here. And I don't know if you brush this way, like this. So if you guys brush that way, that is not really a good technique in cleaning your teeth because it is not that efficient in getting all the plaques that is stuck in between your teeth. So the best way is to have it at a 45-degree angle, making sure that you reach the sides of the metal brackets and also the in between of your tooth. And the motion should go up and down. So it should be up and down, not the sideways. So again, guys, the best way to brush your teeth is to go up and down on each tooth and starting from the front maybe or at the side and just go all the way until all the sides of your teeth and your brackets are cleaned. That way it is more efficient and you don't have to worry about wearing down your enamel. And it can be a little bit irritating into your gums if you try to brush it too hard, and if it's also too slow and too soft, then it might not really get all the plaques out in between your teeth. Second con is tiring for longer brushing. Orthodontists recommend to at least brush your teeth 2 to 3 minutes, especially when you have braces. So, most likely when you do it manually, it can become and feel like a chore, especially when you are tired at night and you wanted to go to sleep, but you have no choice but to brush your teeth. For some people, they can feel like this is some sort of a workout with their wrist. And we all know that when we were kids or even teens, we always rush in cleaning our teeth. And most of the time, there are places or there are spots where we left it uncleaned. Moving on to the third one, cons of the manual toothbrush is the inconsistent pressure. You might scrub too hard on one tooth and too lightly on the other one without even realizing it. Also, some people press too hard, and this can cause sometimes for gum recession, and others, if they press it too softly, it can also leave plaques at the sides of your teeth. So, these inconsistencies can lead to some gum irritation and also leave plaques in some areas of your teeth. For the fourth one, we have harder to reach tight spots. These tight spots are usually behind the wires or deep into the molar area. Not to mention the areas between the brackets and the back of the mouth. those spots are a little bit challenging and it takes an extra effort to reach those areas. And so most of the people will skip those places in their mouth, and eventually those spots, it leaves some food and plaques and eventually bacteria to grow. Given all of these pros and cons of the manual toothbrush, I would recommend that you go for the medium to soft bristle type toothbrushes, and also go for the small headed ones, and make sure that you change your brush every 3 months, or it doesn't really have to go for 3 months, but if you notice that the bristles are fray already, then you have to replace them. Always remember that if you've noticed that the bristles are bent, that is equal to less cleaning power. So make sure that you have to replace your brushes when they become fray. Moving on, we're done with the manual toothbrush. And so let's talk about the electric toothbrush and what can I say about them. So for the pros of having the electric toothbrush, number one is it's superior in removing plaques. Studies have shown that the electric brushes is more efficient in removing plaques around the brackets and in between the wires, and also especially on those hard to reach areas. Second pro is the built-in motion. Oscillating or sonic vibrations means that the brush is scrubbing for you. All you have to do is just guide it. In using the manual toothbrush, you have to think of different things. So, for example, how you brush, the pressure of the toothbrush that you apply into your teeth, the angle, the pace, all those stuff, you have to think about that. But when you use the electric toothbrush, it does the things for you, like the pace, the movement, and all you have to do is just guide them. So for me personally, it's more efficient and it's easier to use compared to the manual toothbrush. Third is the timers and the pressure sensors. Many electric brushes have timers, so you can use them definitely in a full recommended time. So there are also electric toothbrushes that have the pressure sensors, so it can sense once you're using your toothbrushes and there's a little bit pressure going on, it can automatically stop. And this is very helpful for those who have a little bit of sensitive gums, especially when they have their orthodontic treatment. Fourth one is the consistency. With electric toothbrushes, it delivers the same motion every time, and so it is very unlikely to miss spots. Moving on, we have the cons of using the electric toothbrushes. Number one is the cost. So the upfront price can be a little bit higher compared to the manual toothbrush, and also the replacement heads aren't that cheap. Second, it needs charging or batteries. In cases that you forget to charge your electric toothbrush, then well, of course, you have to wait for it for maybe like an hour, and you have to switch to the manual toothbrush. So it's just one of the cons of having them because you have to charge them. Third is they are bulkier to travel. So if you have the manual toothbrush and if you compare it to the electric toothbrush, we all know that the electric toothbrush is a little bit more bigger in size and a little bit heavier compared to the manual toothbrush that you can have. And so for me, this is one of the cons whenever you travel, because aside from they're a bit bigger, you also have to bring the charger with them. Fourth con is the overconfidence risk. All right, so what is overconfidence risk? Some people, when they think about the electric toothbrush, they would be a little bit more confident and they would say, oh, this is an electric toothbrush. I don't have to do much of the work because the brush can do the things for me. However, you still have to guide the toothbrush in cleaning your teeth. In my experience, I use two brands of electric toothbrushes. One is Philips and the other one is the Oral-B. So recently, I'm using the Oral-B type, and if I compare both of those electric toothbrushes cleans well, and the only difference that they had was the motion of the vibration. As I can recall, the Philips toothbrush that I had before moves in a fast motion of a like an up down motion. So for example, this is the electric toothbrush. It moves so fast up and down. So that's the movement, like milliseconds, I think. Well, right now I'm using the Oral B, and it also has its different way of cleaning because it moves in a circular way. Both of them are fast, and I would really say that they're very efficient in cleaning my teeth. So if you ask me which one is the best, whether it's the Philips or the Oral B, I think they're both great in their own way, and it's just that I use the Oral B right now because that was the available one. In my place, Oral B is more common in the supermarkets and in the pharmacies. So, yeah, if you wanted to have both, then you can go for either of the two brands. So, we all know now the pros and cons of having those options. Now we answer the question, which one cleans better? Here's my honest take in answering the question of which of the two cleans better. So before, there was a time that I forgot to order the replacement brushes for my electric toothbrush. And so I think it takes for like 2 weeks before the replacement heads arrive. And so I was forced to use the manual toothbrush. So after using the manual toothbrush for like 2 weeks, I've noticed that there are spots, especially at the those at the back of my teeth. They don't feel as smooth when I ran my tongue on each tooth. So this doesn't really happen when I use my electric toothbrush. So that's the time that I realized that the manual toothbrush isn't that efficient in cleaning my teeth. So when I realized that, I got into a conclusion that I should use an electric toothbrush in cleaning my teeth, especially because I have braces. We also have to remember that every bracket is a plaque trap. Also, cleaning means above, below, and in between the brackets. Also, don't forget to include the gum line and the chewing surfaces, especially in between your teeth. In terms of performance between the manual and the electric, I would say if you go for manual, make sure that you have a good technique in brushing your teeth, and you also have the patience in using them to brush your braces. Electric toothbrushes, on the other hand, is more forgiving, and it's easier to be more consistent, and personally it reaches more on the tricky parts of your teeth and braces. Studies also show that oscillating or rotating electric brushes removes 21% more plaques than the manual toothbrushes can do. So this is very efficient in orthodontic appliances, and this cannot be done efficiently by the manual toothbrush alone. In terms of the comfort factor, some people would choose the manual toothbrush because they have the full control in using the brush to clean their teeth, while others use the electric toothbrush because it is less tiring compared to the manual toothbrush. Before we end this video, I would like to share some verdict and brushing tips that I would recommend for you guys. For the verdict, if you're a bit tight with budget, you can use the manual toothbrush, and I would recommend again to choose the medium to soft bristles and also buy the dental floss. So for me personally, if there's no way that you can buy the electric toothbrush, the flosser, the string ones, are one of the best ways to clean your teeth. If you have those two, then you are good to go. On the other hand, if you have the extra money to invest, then I always recommend you guys that you opt for the electric toothbrush with an orthodontic head, because honestly, it is way more efficient in cleaning your braces. And aside from that, if you can still go a long way and move forward, then I also recommend that you also buy a water flosser. Just a quick braces brushing tips. Number one is always brush your teeth after eating meals, or might as well rinse your mouth. Second is to spend 10 seconds per tooth when you brush your teeth using your electric toothbrush or your manual toothbrush, and make sure to angle your brush at a 45-degree angle. Third is make sure that you don't skip the gum line. Fourth is use the interdental brush, especially when you have braces. The fifth one, which is definitely not the least, is to replace your toothbrush every 3 months. So it doesn't really have to reach 3 months. Just make sure that if you notice that the bristles are starting to bend, then you know that it's time to replace the toothbrush heads. And we also know that braces can wear them off faster. So definitely you have to make sure that the brushes are still intact and they are efficient in cleaning your braces and your teeth. Alright guys, I hope this video is helpful for you, and now you can decide whether you go for manual or electric toothbrush. Basically, it really depends on your preference, as long as you know the technique on how to efficiently clean your teeth. And also, if you are more into other topics about dental health and braces, then you can watch my other videos. And if you find this video helpful, you can like this video and share it with someone that you think might need this video. And also, if you want to track the progress of my braces, then you can subscribe to my channel because I upload my monthly updates. Alright guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you on my next videos.